this is a useful video for anybody who's had this problem arise. My swimming pool had a Pol Liner, and the Pol Liner just deteriorated over the years. I'll show you some photos and you'll see what the problem was, and I'll explain what's what. If you look at the pool where I'm pointing my arrow there, you'll see it's coming away. The liner's actually dried, it's gone brittle. So at the start of the year I thought, well, I'll attempt to repair. So simple repair, put some banding around the edge, and you'll see what I did, which, yeah, what I'll show you what happened. I cut it in segments and then I made good, but the liner was like dried and stretched, so bit of a problem there. As you see, if you look closely as well at the aluminium lock bar on the top, I thought, well, if I have to change the line, it's going to be a bit of a pig of a job. In fact, I don't think I'll be able to. So I was like, what do I do? So, but I thought, well, I'll get in touch with the manufacturer anyway, see if I can get a price on a liner and maybe new tops. But then to do the top, the problem is I've got to remove all of the patio edging and the bricks. It's all been brick round, so it's not a simple job. So I thought, well, what can you do on this one? So I thought, well, I'll make good for now, which is what I did, this repair look, and it lasted, we got a good 9 months out of it, but this year I had to tackle it. So I thought, well, it's got to be done. So my idea was I'm going to have to bite the bullet and fiberglass it. I wondered if fiberglass would take to the metal shell. It's only a metal shell that's holding the liner in place. So you watch and see what you think. As you look there, you see the finished job there, which sort of, it did the job, but it was only temporary, and the same thing was happening on the other end of the pole. So both ends of the pole is a matter of time. But I've never seen this done before, but I've done a small bit of fiberglassing years ago, just a tiny couple of foot patch. I thought, well, how hard can it be? So watch the pictures and you'll see how I rip the old liner out and basically fiberglass the thing. This is emptying the pool, the pump. You can see the pump there sucking the water out, and you can see what kind of damage the pool's in anyway. This is with the water out the pool now, and you see that the extent of the damage now. You can see it's obviously that's the worst area, but the opposite area is also very much the same at the far end. If you look, see there, the top there is going to the far end. This is the pool out, and we're left with the metal. It's like a metal band that stands, which is it's flexible, but it's fairly rigid, but not solid. And the line, if you look at the liner there, it's gone like dry. It wasn't flexible anymore. I think it just aged over the years. This is the whole liner out, and then all we do is make sure that it's got no rough bits on the edges, and clean all the crap off the concrete floor. It's had a concrete base, and then the stand just sits on that. This is a close-up with the pool ladders where they wouldn't come out. I had to get the power drill and all sorts and chop the pool steps out. So it looks worse before it gets better. Obviously took the pump out and the skimmer, and that's the wire hanging down for the lights, internal lights. Anyway, the materials I got in was, I know what I did. If you look down the very bottom, at the bottom of the base, I'll show you. I'll show you. At the bottom of the base, between the concrete and the uprights, I used some filler. Now here's a good close-up. If you look at the actual aluminium locking ring, it's actually perished, so it's like brittle. So even if I could take the top off, look at the condition of the alloy there, it's all pitted and that. And you'll notice what I did was I put a strip of fiberglass over sort of like jagged areas or rough areas, and I tucked it over the top to lock in the top to the side to keep it rigid on that top there. Look. It's just a close-up of the way I tucked it under the slab. I pulled the old silicone out and tucked it right over to lock it. Then I'll fiberglass up to that to become a constant, so you know, get no problems there in the future. Hopefully it'll last now. But there's no way you could put a liner in there because you have to rip it apart. Here's the materials in use. Just some 450 gram fiberglass, and I had some fine what they call tissue mesh just to finish it off as well. And then strip by strip, I just put a strip down each length, overlapping it by about 6 inches into the base, so down and out. The temperature there, as you can see, that we were fighting the temperatures all the time, so we had a sunshade up because in Mallorca, even on a day that's like a normal winter's day, you get up to 25s and that, and for fiberglass any more than 2 days that's a no-go, so we had to just do a little bit at a time. So a strip at a time downwards, do all around the edge, and then finish off on the floor, which was easier than doing the edges, that's for sure. Still hard work, but easier. So little and often is my advice. Don't try and do too many segments in one time because the material hardens up so quick. I think it costs about £300 in material, but that's against totally stripping the pool down and builders in and all the hassle it would have been. So you'll see how we did. That's fiberglass on top of the main locking bars that the pool had to try and sort of blend it in a bit. That's the bottom. Just fill some fill around there just to make sure there's not like a smooth gap rather than a sharp edge gap down the bottom. And that's just showing up. There's a gap there, but it's be silicone in afterwards when it comes to the putting back. See how it's overlapped to the bottom, look, about 6 inches there. And that's it prior to doing the bottom. That's the bottom done. It looks a little bit white, but I think that's a bit deceiving because it wasn't really like that in reality. It went down quite well. Next step after that was just to make sure recheck and burst any bubbles and top up and touch in any little bits in case you're not sure, and make sure it's waterproof. There's another one there. This is, took the cover off to let the sun really dry it. Now it's wanted it really dry. And then make sure before we put the actual excuse me, and make sure it's dry before putting the top coat of. There's a top coat of colour which we went for, the Swimming Pool blue actually designed for it, and it's like a very thick coat which you'll see here. If you let it wait too long it'll go hard. That's it in the tubs. When you finish, your rollers you might just, you can't reuse them. They get plenty of spares because use once and sling away. Same as your rollers and all sorts, just use them once, chuck them away, don't try and save them, pointless. And here's the finished article, just roll it on like you just paint a wall. Nice thick coat, and you'll see that's a bit that's peeled off the inside. That's what it's like. It's like a liner in itself, I suppose, in effect. Look, nice sliver of that stuff that's coated on the inside. And give that give it a day or so to really harden up before sort of just checking, looking inside, making sure there's no bits prior to refilling it, and you'll see it all fill up and Oh, you put all the pump in, make the steps good again, put the steps back in, line them up, all the normal stuff at the same time. There's the time to check anything else and make sure it's all correct, so, as you'll see. Yeah, this is like, I think it's the day after or something. I was just gonna, we titivated all the top slabs on the top, and I think we put new slabs in the top actually around by the pool area, because now was the time to do it. So there was a cut there that was cracked and seen better days, as they say. So I got them done at the same time, and then now you'll see the big put it together job, which was easier than obviously the hard work of fiberglassing. There you go, that's the pool steps in, the pump in, the skimmer there, we dressed that and painted that to match, so it all looked quite smart with waterproof paint and stuff. So that's what it's showing here. And then you'll look what we did underneath was put a nice, like marine quality silicone bead at the very top between the fiberglass edge and the tile, just to finish off for any water that splashes up and stuff. And that's basically job. Then stick the hose in and wait a day or so to fill the thing back up again and make sure there's no leaks, which fortunately there wasn't. It all looked tickety-boo, and job was a good one. Like I said, it probably would have cost, well, with builders and stuff, £5,000 to £10,000 to put a new pool in basically, but for it was about £300 or £400 with the material sorted. Job done. Swimming pool saved, good for another 10 years hopefully. It's been over, what, 6 months now, and it hasn't leaked or anything, so we're good to go at the moment anyway. So it might be useful for anybody who's got a similar problem. So thanks for watching.